Hey guys, it's Richard with the Hunter-Gatherer Society. I am on my way to Jacksonville, Florida, and I decided to take a little bit of a journey off the beaten path here and come out to, I'm going to take a shot at it, Withlacoochee State Forest. Withlacoochee State Forest and River Junction day use area. There's also River Junction Campground. And what I've read online is a real small, beautiful little campground, and I'm excited to go check it out. I've never been here before, and I think there's some hiking trails. I know there's a river that flows through this. Obviously, River Junction would imply that. So we're going to go do a little hammock camping. I got some dinner brought with me, and we'll check that out. And hopefully we'll get some hiking in, and it'll just be a good night. And then tomorrow I head back up to Jacksonville. So let's go check it out. There's the day use area. Well, we don't have a reservation, but we're going to do it online. I have a feeling it's going to be relatively quiet back here today. We'll take our chances. There's a nice bathroom facility. What I'm looking for is something with a couple hammock-worthy trees. Somebody back in a tent. Not the only person out here. Just one tree there. Ah, here we go. Look at that. Perfect. Multiple trees in the camp. We've got fire pit, picnic table. I think this is home for the night. We got water. Oh, I'm telling you what, man, we are living high on the hog tonight, guys. Look at this. Nice fire pit, picnic table, and two nice solid trees. I'll tell you what, those were built for a hammock. They are the perfect distance apart. A little trail there, and I believe that if you walk that back, it'll go back to that bathroom facility. Probably about a quarter mile in, I'd say. All right, home for the night. I'm gonna get set up. Guys, a little steak making time. Pretty simple. Not much to it. Just doing a simple steak like I showed you, with a stick, pushing it in towards the tarp, and then I'm just going to simply take this and I'm going to make a loop, just one loop, and then cinch it tight all the way to the ground. Camp is all set up. Now tonight I went for a little more weatherproof cover. There's the hammock with the bug screen up, staked down. So a couple things that I did today that I wanted to point out with the hammock. When you're hanging these up at night And if there's any chance of rain, which tonight there is actually a little chance of rain. I don't think it's going to rain, but there is a chance of rain. So one of the things you want to make sure is your tarp is coming up over your hammock. So this end is really, really close. Like if it rained here, this would probably get damp. Now it wouldn't get real wet unless it blew directly in there, but there is the tree there also. That's my foot end. Now down here, you can see here, the hammock actually goes, it's actually underneath. This is my head end. And that's really important to pay attention to. You want to get as close to it as you possibly can to have both of those ends over the end of your hammock, because you don't want to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning with the rain blowing in and make for a cold, miserable night. So that's the setup. Now I went comfortable here today. We got a nice spot. We've got a picnic table. We got a fire pit. I don't know if I'm going to find any wood or not, but I'm going to go look here pretty quick. Just like I said, on the way from Naples to Jacksonville, spending the night here, and a little primitive camping. Tomorrow I'm excited. There's a river that runs through here, and actually it's actually right over here. Some of the campsites back up to it, but they didn't have good trees for the hammock, so I chose this one. But tomorrow there's a day use area. We can get down along the river and maybe even do a little fishing. Well guys, you can see it is dark out. I got here pushing the envelope on the sunset, so I went ahead and got that hammock set up really fast, and then I had to go out and look around, try to get a little bit of firewood. I'd like to have a little bit of a fire tonight. Not going to have a whole lot of one. I want to get to bed relatively early and head out to Jacksonville in the morning. Like I said, I'll probably do some exploring around here, so we'll do some filming tomorrow and get a good look at the river and the day use area, and might even try a little bit of fishing while we're here. But at some point, I'm going to head off to Jacksonville, but I've got the hammock all set up. I've got some firewood. I've got a fire kind of set up and ready to start. So since it's dark already, I went ahead and just got some starting materials in there, got some sticks over it, got it ready to go. So all I got to do is go in there and light it when I'm ready. But at this point, what I'm going to do is dig into the pack and start getting things ready for supper. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to keep it fairly simple tonight. I kind of kept everything pre-prepped. No foraging today. Like I said, I got into camp late, so it was a matter of getting that hammock set up and getting some wood for the fire and just getting things organized. But I do have a pretty good dinner planned. I've got a little bit of rice going here, so just some water and some rice, probably about a cup of water. And then this is wild dehydrated mushrooms and cream of mushroom soup. And then this is cubed chicken, and I've got some spinach I'll add as well. And so I'm going to make basically a little bit of a kind of a rice hot dish, I guess you'd say. So that's kind of my plan for dinner. I'm going to keep working on this. The seasonings for tonight, I kept one of my seasoning bottles from the store. This has got a combination of the seaweed and moringa root seasoning. The moringa root I grew. The seaweed we harvested from the Gulf. It also has poor man's peppergrass, and it has a 3-pepper blend that I dehydrated and mixed in. And then it's just got some onion and garlic. So it's kind of a mix of foraged and some store-bought stuff. So I'm going to get this rice going. I'm going to let that cook about 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to start adding some of the other ingredients in there and kind of let them cook together. All right, so I've got the spinach in with the rice. Now a little bit of seasoning, or for that matter a whole lot of seasoning. So we're about 5 minutes in, maybe 6 minutes in on the rice. So I let it cook a little bit just by itself. Spinach. Now the one thing I want to get in now is the wild mushrooms, and because they are dehydrated, and so I want to make sure that we get those mixed in. They've already started to soften a little bit from the soup, but we want to make sure they get in there and they cook for at least 10 minutes, probably closer to 15 minutes. Now what will happen is as this cooks, it's going to thicken up real well, and that rice will expand. Chicken. I'm not sure how it's going to taste, but I can tell you this, it smells good. Alright, I'm going to let that cook for probably another 10-15 minutes, and I'm hoping it's going to be as good as it smells. And I'll tell you what, the mushrooms are just getting done. I just did a little taste test. The mushrooms are soft, and it tastes fabulous. I'm going to let that go just a couple more minutes, and then dinner time. What do you want? You smell my dinner, don't you? Huh? You smell my dinner, don't you? What do you think of that, huh? Yeah. Where'd your friends go? They left you. Let's see where they are. Well, that's a stump. Well, they took off now. There was 3 of them. Came right up to the fire pit. Never a dull moment. Well, that was pretty exciting, wasn't it? That little guy was about 3 feet from me. Matter of fact, he was coming so close I was actually getting a little bit worried. Now, raccoons are, pretty well harmless. They're more trouble than anything. But, anytime a wild animal starts getting that close to a human, you start worrying about, disease and things like that. So he was getting me a little bit nervous, but then at the edge of the fire pit, where I filmed him, he stopped there. That was as close as he's willing to get. But boy, he liked the smell of our supper. So, must smell as good as I think it does. It brought in 3 of them. The other 2 went to the edge of the fire pit, and then they said, nah, I don't think so. But that younger one, he was pretty brave. Well, I'm telling you what, guys, this turned out amazing. I like doing these prepped meals, when you're going to be out here camping. It's fun to do wild forage meals, pick stuff as you hike and then put it together on the trail. But when you're doing these kind of quick, spur of the moment camps, having something prepped is really easy. So again, cream of mushroom soup, diced chicken breast, dehydrated wild mushrooms, and it's a combination of bolete and indigo blues. And then a little bit of rice, a little bit of wild forage seasoning, and some onion and garlic. Got ourselves a nice meal. Oh man, and that tastes great. As I was hoping, it thickened up nicely. A lot of times I would put pasta in this, but I didn't have any real good pasta for it. The only thing I had was like spaghetti and stuff like that. So I opted for the rice. It tastes good. I'm going to work on this, and then I think I'll get a fire going. It'll be time for a happy hour. I'll see you in a bit. You want something? He was just about under my leg. Stinker. Wish I had something to give him, although I shouldn't feed him, so better off not doing that. Definitely be locking everything up tonight. Well, dinner is done. It was fabulous. I can't believe how good that turned out after just kind of throwing it together last minute as I ran out the door, but sometimes those things work out really well. And so I got things kind of organized a little bit. I had to tuck things away a little more than usual. My 3 friends have been back several times, and I I stepped away from the table for just a minute, and one of them was already getting up on the table. So they're very brave. They seem to have moved on now, but I imagine they'll be back in the evening to take another shot at it once I settle into the hammock. So, but they got the fire going, as you can see. It's an absolutely gorgeous night. I would say it's probably, you know, 72, 73 degrees right now. It's just absolutely beautiful. There's a few mosquitoes moving around, but they're not bad. There's not a lot of them. I put a little bug spray on earlier just so that I could, you know, once I got the lights on, I could cook and not worry too much about it. And sorry about that. I have a little bit of a light here, and I've just discovered it likes to turn itself off. So anyway, so that's, I think they've settled down a little bit, at least for now, at least till I get to bed. Then they'll come check things out. By then I'll have everything put away. So again, a gorgeous, absolutely beautiful night. I found enough firewood to have a nice fire. I've got probably 4 big pieces that are sitting on the grill, just kind of drying. And so that'll be my finish. I'll put that on after this and just kind of enjoy that. And then, you know, now that I've got dinner done and the work's done, I think it's time for a happy hour. I stopped by one of my favorite breweries, Riptide Brewing. It used to be Momentum. You guys have seen Dozer and I stop in there after our forages. But Riptide makes a pretty nice beer. This is a 2 Kettles IPA. And just one, you know, a guy doesn't want to have too many when he's out in the woods. And so we're just going to have one tonight. We're not counting the fact that it is 36 ounces, but that's okay. Or 32. It's not even really 3 beers. And of course, I got my handy dandy canteen mug. That little thing works pretty slick. Oh, I almost didn't do this. It's probably going to get cold tonight. My guess is low 50s, but there's a shot at 49. And for me, that's pretty cool. So, I mean, not that I haven't done colder than that, but it's been a while. So I haven't acclimated back into the cold. So it'll be interesting. But I got plenty of sleeping bag, and I got my sleeping pad in the hammock tonight, so I'll be perfectly fine. The only thing I'll have to do is get the sweaty shirt off from getting wood and getting the fire going. Don't want to go to bed wet. But I almost didn't do this. I'm heading to Jacksonville. I'm going to spend a few days there, and I thought, man, what better opportunity to explore some of these little state forests, state parks, national forests. There's wildlife preserves. In the area that I'm in of Florida, which is heading up into central Florida, there is just a ton of opportunity to hike and camp, kayak. There's river campsites, there's oceanside camps. Well, not in central Florida, not oceanside, but there's riverside, lakeside. This little camp here, I bet it only has, at least that I can see, probably 20 campsites. There is a nice hiking trail here. It's about 6.8 miles. I think I might get on that tomorrow and see, you know, if it's flooded or not. And like I said, you're right on the river, so there's several campsites you can reserve for $15. It's $21. When you see these campsites for the state, they'll tell you they're $13-14, but they charge you on top of your reservation fee. They charge you a reservation fee, so it ends up being about $21 for the night, which, you know, that's not bad actually. This isn't a primitive camp. This isn't an urban stealth camp. I just wanted to get out in the woods, and I want to check out some new areas. This is a beautiful state park. We'll get out with the camera tomorrow and we'll check it out together, and it's really nice. Like I said, it's really small, kind of off the beaten path. Beautiful little river. I saw somebody down fishing in it earlier, and the reviews online said there's great fishing here. So that should be kind of interesting. Give it a shot anyway and see if there's anything in there. I think I saw somebody carrying a few fish out of there, so that gives me hope. So we'll probably do a little fishing, probably hike that trail, and you know, just enjoy the day. I don't have to really be in Jacksonville until late in the evening, so I won't be really in a hurry, so I can do exploring. One thing I might want to do is find some beautyberry and harvest some leaves for a mosquito salve. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but that might be on my agenda. Other than that, man, I got a long weekend. I don't go back to work till Wednesday, which is awesome. And I won't get a lot of chance to get out and do this kind of stuff. I'll be doing the urban enjoyment. I'm gonna have to find an alternate light for that. I can see that now. I'll be doing some river walk and some dining, and I imagine there'll be a few breweries in my future, so it should be a good time. But I might do this going there, and I might do one coming back. We'll see how the time goes and what the schedule looks like. That's why I want to make sure I enjoy tomorrow, just in case I don't get out. I was going to bring my kayak on this trip and get out and do a little fishing that way, but I didn't really want the kayak sticking out of the back of the truck for the next 4 or 5 days, so I decided to leave that there. That's one of the reasons I picked this site, is because you can park and walk 20 feet up to the edge of the little river and fish right from there. So that was a good opportunity. Got someone talking to me here. The owls were here earlier hooting, which is always kind of neat. I made the mistake, you guys, of clicking on the news just real quick. I don't know why I did it. Couldn't help myself, I guess. But reminded me quickly why I come do stuff like this. I won't check that again, probably for a few days. But it's never positive. It's amazing to me, all the things going on right now in the world. But I'm sitting out here, and you know, me and my friends here, the raccoons, the owl, whatever that thing is, peeping at me. It's really quiet here. Now you can hear road noise in this campsite, or in this campground. You're not that far from I-75. I'm probably about 8 miles in, but it kind of winds back around, so it might be even a little closer than that. But I can hear some, off in the distance, I can hear just a low rumble of cars. Other than that, it is super quiet. There's probably 3 other campsites that have people in them around me right now, out of the whole place, so it's really quiet. I was looking on the reservations. Looks like the weekend fills up pretty good here. So Friday, Saturday, a lot of the campsites were taken. It'll fill back up. There were still a few availabilities, but quite a few more people. And I think that's probably because the tent camping is down when it gets in the 40s. Not as many people do it. So, but I'll be out of here tomorrow. I'll probably hang out until maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Depends on how long that hike takes me. And I probably got another 2.5, 3 hours to Jacksonville, so probably 2.5. I'm probably about halfway. Anyway, guys, I'm going to turn around and enjoy that beautiful fire. Enjoy this wonderful Riptide Brewing 2 Kettles IPA. And we'll either see in a bit, or maybe I'll just see in the morning. We'll see how it goes. Either way, have a good night. Good morning, everybody. Man, nice night in the hammock. Stayed warmer than I thought. Actually, I'd say it stayed probably close to 60 last night. So, beautiful night. Just getting woke up here. I think I'm gonna get a little breakfast, break down camp, and I'm gonna go explore this state park. See what all it has. I think it's cloudy today. It's supposed to be about 81, so be perfect. I'll see you at breakfast. Oh, looks like our friends visited us last night. You can see the little footprints all over my shirt and my towel. Yeah, I figured they were, and I thought I heard them earlier this morning. They didn't do any damage, but you can see they were checking things out. I decided to keep breakfast simple this morning. I thought about bringing something to cook up, maybe some eggs or something like that, but I knew I'd want to get going this morning and explore the area before I head back up to Jacksonville. And so I kept, like I said, I kept it pretty simple. No cooking this morning. Apple pie pancakes. Yeah, I said apple pie pancakes. Yummy. I love making pancakes. These are The flour is about a third ground cashews, and then the rest regular flour. And then instead of eggs, I used applesauce as a substitute for the eggs. And of course, baking powder. And then I diced up peeled and diced up apples into real small pieces and put them in the batter. And then added honey and cinnamon to sweeten it. That gives it kind of that. So the apple chunks with the honey and cinnamon gives it that kind of apple pie flavor. Really good. Now when you cook them, the apples stay crunchy. So for a texture person, that can be a little bit weird. I like it, but to fix that, just put the apples in a pan or the microwave and cook those in the honey and cinnamon just briefly, and that'll fix that. I like the crunchy apple chunks. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and eat breakfast and then get this camp broke down, and we'll go check out that trail. I'll see you in a bit. Curious if we're going to find any mushrooms today. I'm starting to spot a few popping up already. Well guys, after a night at camp, sleep in the hammock, it feels good to get out and stretch the legs. This is a beautiful area here. River Junction Campground. And I can't pronounce it, so we'll get a shot of it when I come out. We're in a state forest right now. And just absolutely beautiful. There were people down fishing today. I didn't see them catch anything. I was only there for a couple minutes. I saw one person miss one. So there's fish there. Isn't this beautiful? I have no idea if this runs high ground, low ground. I have no knowledge of this trail. I've never been here before. I'm hoping it continues what it's doing now, which is winding up along the high ground. We're going to find out. Probably, I'd say 75 degrees. A little bit humid today. Man, is it shady back in here. I think even if the sun was out, you wouldn't know it. See him getting a little breakfast. Got to be careful when you're walking through here if you're not a fan of the spiders. They like to hang out over these trails and catch their breakfast. Although he's totally harmless. I don't think I want a mouthful of spiders this morning. It's kind of cool. Some of these areas look great for mushrooms. I haven't seen anything significant really since we got on the trail, those very first ones. But man, the area looks good. Some of this high ground. Bright and green. A lot of tree mushrooms. What are those? Not really looking to do any foraging today. Like I said, after I'm done with this, I'll probably do a little fishing and then head off to Jacksonville. That won't really be a foraging trip. That'll be more brewery focused. Pretty. There's a couple smaller ones over there. Yellow. Interesting. Trail running in there. There's what looks to be a scrape right here. Deer scrape. They scrape that ground up. You always want to look. Is there about head height? You want to see a little stick. And there is. They'll mouth that, and they'll leave their scent, the bucks, there, and the females can come along and mark it and let them know that they're here. Now it's not real distinct, so I'm not positive it is, but since it's set up almost exactly right, and it's right along that trail, that active trail, my guess is that's some type of a deer rub. By the size of it, I'd say it's a young one. The old ones, they'll sometimes, heck, they'll tear up 4 feet. Depends on how aggressive they are. But the young ones oftentimes will leave those small ones. And I might have to get a stick to walk out in front of me. The cobweb's back in here. Till I'm the first walker this morning. I didn't see any deer last night. I did have tracks coming up along the camp, but I didn't see any. Just my raccoon friends. Look at those. That is pretty cool. That is pretty wild. Love how they match the moss. I turned the camera off for a few minutes, guys. I was showing you that deer rub, and I came around the next corner, and there's a guy in blaze orange carrying a shotgun. Remember what I said about always paying attention to your local hunting season. So they're out here looking for deer, and they're looking for hogs. So if I sound like I'm keeping my voice down today, I am. I don't want to disturb them. I want to be able to share the woods with them, but I certainly don't want to interrupt their hunting. They certainly have just as much right as I do to be here. As a matter of fact, I have some orange in my backpack. I think I'm going to stop here in a little bit. He told me where his partner was, so I'm not too worried about running into him. But I think for the walk back, I'll put some blaze orange strips on. I always carry a bag of blaze orange strips for occasions like this. There's two uses for them. One, if you get lost or if you want to get off trail, you can hang those blaze orange strips, you know, hang them up in the woods and you can see them from a long ways away. So, and then two, during hunting season, of course, you can put them on and keep yourself safe. So it looks like we head this way. Looks like an old road. He's been back here having a fire. Guys, when I say you got to really watch where you're going, I don't think you want to face full of this. He's probably harmless. He's just strung up between those two trees, kind of like a hammock camper. He's probably totally harmless. I sure would lose my mind if he was sitting across my face. All right, buddy, we'll let you get back to lunch. Beautiful. Jeez. Those are awesome. Well, man, that was a beautiful, beautiful walk. I ended up cutting a little bit short. There was quite a bit of hunting activity in the back side of this, so I probably, out of the 6.8, I probably only did about 4, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm back in the camp area here. That's actually the day use area. This is a really nice day use area. You can see it's sitting right alongside the river. And all along the road here are little pull-offs they've set up where you can pull aside and, you know, do a little fishing if you are so inclined. The fire pits, picnic tables, garbage bins. Beautiful campsite. I'll tell you what, it's quiet this time of year. Like I said, it looks like it's going to fill up now over the weekend, but right now it's just quiet. I think I'll have to come back here with the kayak one of these days. Beautiful. Well, guys, this has been a great stop. River Junction Campground. It's 6.8 miles of trails. Now again, today I didn't do the whole 6.8. There was, again, once I got to the back side, there was a little more hunting activity, so I decided to just turn out. I took another loop back around, hiked down the road a little bit. There's a dirt road. Hiked down that for a little while and then cut back in on another trail. And it was a beautiful walk. I saw quite a bit of mushrooms, and I managed not to get one of those big spiders in my face, so that's a plus. And I'm back to the campground now, where, well, again, the day use area. And again, this has been a beautiful stop. You have to reserve online, and there's probably about 20 campsites. They got a beautiful day use area with little grills and picnic tables. You can fish along the river. There is a boat landing at the end of this road. I saw people down there fishing, and so it'd be a great place to throw in a kayak or a smaller boat. And so just a beautiful campground. Now, those are the positives about it. The campsites were really well done. Each one had water they don't have any electricity, so there's no electricity back there. There is, however, a nice bathroom facility. So where I was camped, you could walk up maybe a quarter mile through the woods, and there was a bathroom facility, and they actually had 2 showers in there. So real nice, great facilities. So everything about this place was really great. The only thing that I would say, you know, to criticize it is, online I saw people say, you know, if you want that feel of being out in the middle of nowhere, this is a great spot. And it really is. But it doesn't, although it looks like you're out in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't sound like you're out in the middle of nowhere. So right now it's actually pretty quiet back here at the camp. The only real time I had any issues with the camp was about 2 o'clock in the morning. You could hear the rumble of the cars pretty solid. You know, once all the day noise quieted down, you could really hear it. Hiking, I actually got up by the trail actually goes up by the interstate. So I was right, that is the interstate that I was hearing. And so the trail got up there, and that got pretty loud. So it doesn't really bother me. I do prefer the silence of the woods, but I also can appreciate the beauty even if there's noise in the background. So that didn't bother me too much. But if it does bother you, that might be something to consider about coming out here. So that's about it for today. Like I said, I might do 20 minutes of fishing. Haven't quite decided yet. I'm gonna get back to the truck, and I just found out that my arrival time in Jacksonville's been moved up, so I might skip that for today. I was gonna do the beauty berries, but I didn't break away from the state forest, and here in Florida you cannot forage in a state forest. So what I was gonna do is take the leaves of the beauty berry and make a salve. The leaves are actually a natural mosquito repellent, and contrary to a lot of these kind of folklore things you hear, that's actually been studied. There is a compound in the leaves of the beautyberry that does repel mosquitoes, so it's quite effective. And so that was one of my goals today. So maybe another time we'll take a look at that, but for now I appreciate you tagging along. It's been a great night. I loved the campsite, had a great night's sleep, and great fire last night with a happy hour. Just great to have a night out and to kind of unwind a little bit. So thanks again for tuning along, and hopefully the next time I see you, I'll once again be out doing something wild.